This is FanCastic, the fancasting podcast where we fancast all your favorite characters from adult fantasy, romantasy, and fiction. I'm your host, Loretta Ann. I'm an audiobook narrator, former actress, and current Hollywood professional. So meet me in another realm, and let's make some magic. Hello, mere mortals. We're back again. It is part 2 of Heir of Fire. I'm wearing the same shirt because it's the same day, and we split up the recording because we're smart. We don't have much to talk about. I would like to see your comments. Hopefully, we're getting some fun feedback on who we've cast in part 1, and we're going to get into part 2 because we've got some real fun witchy characters to tackle. We've got to talk about Manon. We've got to talk about the matron Blackbeak. And we will finally solidify who our Emerus is based on who our Malachi is. I just want to say again, thank you for everyone who has listened, watched, liked, reviewed, commented on everything in FanCastic Season 1. I didn't know where this podcast was going to go. It was something I really wanted to do creatively, and it's gotten bigger and a lot of more support than I had realized. Now, it's nowhere near where it should be and where I hope it goes. But that's going to come around in Season 2. We'll be back in September. During the summer, we'll be still active on socials, so please DM us, listen to the episodes, catch up on Season 1 before Season 2. And in Season 2, we are going to stick with this new format that we've done with this episode with Heir of Fire. We're going to stick with it. We think it's more fun, it's exciting, it moves things along quicker. So this is the format you'll be seeing going forward. My TBR list is really nicely organized for the next several months, and I am going to enjoy a nice few months off, not thinking about this podcast, not thinking about casting, but enjoying some books. I'm going to be hanging out outside, going to the beach, hanging out by a pool, doing what I can to read, hitting the gym so that I can get some extra reading time in. But thank you guys so much for this lovely, solid Season 1, and we will see you in September for Season 2. Enjoy part 2 of Heir of Fire. Let's bring back Adara. Hey, Adara, welcome
I know.
back.
I magically put on the same shirt
Wow.
as last week. And this has
Me
totally
too.
been one full week since we last talked. I'm so excited.
Guys, we took a break. We ate a snack. We talked about Sister Wives.
Sister Wives, Keeping Up with the Kardashians,
And now we're back.
the new polyamory show.
We're splitting this up in the same day because we're busy bitches. But welcome for part 2.
I'm so excited.
FanCastic listeners, if you're here, we're so glad you're here. If you didn't listen to part 1, what the fuck are you doing here? Get out of here.
Go back.
Get out
Go
of
back.
it. This is your chance to leave. Go back. Go back. Get out of here. You're not welcome. Mariana, what are you doing here? Here we are. We're back for part 2.
excited.
So to recap, part 1, we cast Austin Butler as our Adian Ash River. We've cast Derek Law as our Ren Hariyuki as Merta Allsbrook, Rebel Grandpa. And then we've got Avantika from Mean Girls, the movie musical, as Sorsha, Rip. We've got Megan Fox as Maeve. Yes, same choice across the board. First time we've ever done that. It only took us 3 episodes. It really would have been a friendship make or break thing. We would have been like, are we even friends? Why did
we
you think of
even
this
know each
person? I literally considered nobody
No,
else.
me neither.
Nope. And our Rowan Whitehorn is then Colson Baker, otherwise known as MGK. If you think that's crazy because you shouldn't be here right now listening to this, go back and listen to our reasons why. And we left off on a cliffhanger of who we will be casting as Emerus. We were torn between Nick Offerman and John Waters, and we're going to decide when we see our Malachi.
Yeah.
So let's get back into it and get back to part 2, and we should be off and running.
I'm loving this
Here
new
we go,
format.
part 2.
I think this new format is great.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's faster. It's quicker. The reactions are real
Yep.
fun in real time.
Can you imagine if
Hopefully
each of us had to save our excitement for Megan Fox?
that would have not. We couldn't have done that. We couldn't have done that. I'm liking this. I think we should move forward with this new format. But of course, we would like to hear from listeners and viewers and see what they think. Hopefully, they're loving it too. And we'll get better too. Like sometimes I know we're forgetting to be like, oh, this is my person and this is my person. But we'll get the hang of it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are for part 2. We're gonna jump into it, and I believe we have Malachi up first. We've got. How dare you? How dare you? Did I not say, shouldn't we just cast the two of them?
And was I not an Oscar award-winning actress? Like, yeah, yeah, that would be yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, all right, go ahead, Adara. Who have you cast as your Malachi that I predicted?
I cast Murray Bartlett, our Aussie
Mhm.
fabulous actor. People know him from The White Lotus. He was also just in,
Mhm.
what was that movie called? The one that Sadie Sink was just in that we were just talking about. That was the retelling of
Oh,
Odessa.
Odessa.
He was just in Odessa, which is
Mhm.
why
Mhm.
this could solidify me more in terms of him being Malachi versus, because I was like, which of those two? Because to be honest, I was like, these two are like just so perfect for me. Yes, I consider this even lazier casting than like like the dig.
I was like, Adara, this is the same.
I know.
This is the
I know.
same
I know.
relationship. We can't do that.
No, but it was just like I watched that episode of The Last of Us and it makes me bawl my eyes out every single time. And I
I
was just
know.
like, the two of
I
them
know.
just have such an amazing chemistry together that I want to see more.
Yes.
Like, maybe it's just that I want to see more of those two characters in The Last of Us. I don't know. But I just want to see more
You
of the
do.
two of them
Or
together.
you just want to more of that
Yes.
dynamic. And I think Emerus and Malachi have that
Yes, they do.
dynamic. They're demi-fae, they're older, they've lived lives. One is a warrior, one is a storyteller. They come together in their
But
own
I've
way
also kind of flip-flopped it a little bit for these two because
in terms of
the last time Murray Bartlett was the one who was coming in as kind of the
the
more
caretaker.
caretaker, like, you need my help. Like, I'm the one who needs to stay here, not because I'm looking for a safe place to stay in the end of the world, but because you
Mhm.
need me. Nick Offerman was the one who was playing more of like the I'm gonna build things, I'm gonna kill things, and I'm gonna be the
I'm
warrior.
I'm
I'm
man.
man, hear me
Yeah.
roar, and
Mhm.
here's a rabbit. And I flip flopped the two of
Yeah.
them for a very particular reason, because of some of the the clips that I saw of Murray Bartlett in Odessa in terms of trailers and some things I've seen on social media and things like that. But
Mhm.
I also think it would be really
Mhm.
interesting to see the two of them flip that dynamic as well as actors in the relationship, the working relationship that the two of them together. I think it would be
Yes.
super lazy if I had flipped it the opposite. This to me is
I agree.
slightly lazy because there's a little bit of a twist to it. I fully admit that this one is lazy. I still think that my Dacre is not as lazy as this one is. I love the two of them together. I want to see more of that dynamic in general. I love that Sarah J. Maas wrote this dynamic into the story.
Yeah,
And I
me too.
think that it's same dynamic, but it gives each of them something new to do as an actor because we flipped it.
Mhm.
So that is
Mhm.
and I also love this photo of Murray Bartlett. So that is
Oh, I do too. Oh my god.
my argument for Murray Bartlett is Malachi.
Okay. Well, I like Nick Offerman as Emerus. And I think he could pair well with who I've chosen as Malachi, which is Victor Garber.
Victor Garber is a great choice.
I Victor Garber is very general warrior man, but in a past life feels like can be harder and softer in personality and look. Victor Garber was I had to dig through, like I said in part 1, was my first thing was Mike White.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that'd be so fun to see them together. But I just want to see John Waters and Mike White do a project together. So let's put that in the universe. I would love to see
Well,
whatever that would
Mike
be.
White is returning to Survivor season 50, so you should just have John Waters join the cast of Survivor.
Wait, is he
Yeah,
really?
they're bringing back a whole bunch of like old contestants. So
Oh, okay. I might have to watch Survivor for season 50. I can't believe it's season
I know,
50.
crazy.
That's crazy. Wheel of Fortune is only on season 42.
Well, they
Jeez.
film like 2 seasons a year for Survivor. And this is a sidebar.
Yeah, that's true.
That island is not uninhabited. It's like a little tiny beach corner of that island.
Oh.
The rest of it is like a fancy
Yeah, no, people live there.
resort.
People
Yeah.
live there. Like, people vacation there. Production would not allowed to be shooting on a remote
It
island
has a
like that.
hospital.
Like, no. They have to. They literally are legally required to do that in television. That's on reality TV. It's not real. Okay, so what if we do Nick Offerman as Emerus and Malachi as Victor
Let's do
Garber?
it because I
I
I would
love
have
that.
struggled so hard to agree to John Waters.
No. Oh, God, no. I
Yes.
knew John Waters isn't the correct choice. It's just the choice I wanted to do because I was like, this is crazy. I like it. And it makes sense, but it's not the right fit. It just
Let's
makes
do it.
sense.
Let's lock in.
Emrys as Nick Offerman and Victor Garber as
I love
Malachi
it.
are locked in.
So
Off to a strong start for part 2.
Luca is up next, and I think you're going to hate my casting for Luca for reasons we've already discussed. This is where I would propose DeFaro
DeFaro.
instead. So let's
Yeah.
go ahead to Luca, and you can see, and you're going
Okay.
to be like, Darren, you need to.
You will know who mine is. Listeners and watchers may not know who mine is. And mine is sort of a throwaway. I don't really care about him at all. All right, Luca, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah. There's no more Stranger Things actors allowed in this show, Tara, or you're fired. You go ahead. I've already said it's Stranger Things. So who do you have as Luca, Tara?
I chose Finn Wolfhard as Luca. Not
It's not
because no,
wrong.
see, that's the thing. It's not wrong. And if it weren't for
Mm-mm.
Dacre Montgomery, I think you'd be a lot more open to this if I hadn't already done
I would.
another Stranger Things actor.
I would.
He's described as like a skinny stick of a young fae. And I was just sitting here and I was like, "God, we're already so limited in terms of the acting pool of who that could be." And
Mhm.
the thing that has always stood out to me about Finn Wolfhard is how gorgeous his cheekbones are. And he just has such a unique, interesting face. And
He looks so different. Yes.
as because especially, and even when he was like a small kid, you could see that like he never really had a whole lot of like the baby fat face. He was always such a unique. And so because Luca is a little bit of a throwaway role for now, we don't know what'll happen coming up.
Right.
I wanted
Totally.
to cast somebody that, should something happen with Luca in the future, has the ability to.
We'd be sad.
We'd be sad about it. Has the ability to carry that in terms of the acting. However, I also this is where I propose DeFaro, who I think
I
fits
think
just as well.
I really like DeFaro. We're going to table that for a second so I can introduce my Luca. My Luca is Antonio Cipriano, who many people in pop culture will know as Renee Rapp's ex-boyfriend that cheated on her, and now she's a lesbian. That's not why she's a lesbian, but he really wronged her. I know him from Jagged Little Pill. When I worked at Jagged Little Pill, he's a lovely human. He was really nice to me. He's got a beautiful voice. He played Phoenix in it. He's very, very Italian. He's got a very Italian family.
Cipriano.
And he's Cipriano Antonio. He is also now in the Pretty Little Liars world. He's a main character in there. I tossed him in there because this is how I pictured Luca with curly hair. Again, a throwaway character. I wouldn't be sad if anything happened to Antonio Cipriano, respectively. I think in real life I would, but not. Luca, something does almost happen to him when they're in the cave with the lake. I think I like Finn Wolfhard. Antonio is meh. I think DeFaro is the correct choice.
I love it. Which is why
I think it's the correct choice.
and I had a feeling that that's what it was going to be, which is why I was like, I'm fine. I'm fine. Like with the number of people that we chose in part one, I was like, I think we're going to agree that somebody from my part one, I think DeFaro is the perfect amount for each of those two. We'll be like, oh God, don't die in the cave, And then if something does happen to him later, we'll be upset. Then also we know he has the acting capabilities for, should something more happen with this character, he'll be able to carry that.
I also liked our thinking on this because this format's really fun because we can see side by side of we're like, oh no, we were in the same train of thought. The curly dark hair. Do you remember when Emrys is telling the story? Or has one of the story times and Selena's like doing dishes or eating bread in the corner staircase or whatever.
Sullen bread,
and
yeah.
Little bitch. You called her a brat, and I just took with 0 to a 60 and was like,
Okay,
bitch.
Patty LuPone.
I know. Oh my God, how dare you? No, not Patty LuPone. For those of you who don't know what's going on with Patty
Just Google
LuPone, yeah, she's gone too far for the third or fourth time, and finally people are like, we've had enough. You can stop being the way that you are. Anyways, he's like a little bit of a ladies' man. Luca is. He's got like a little demi-fae girlfriend that's with him at one point, and so I went with Antonio because I was like, ladies' man. I can see Finn Wolfhard, ladies' man feeling,
DeFaro?
you know,
Ladies man.
DeFaro, ladies' man. So I think that's perfect. It gives an opportunity to make this cast not super white, as is the rest of the book. I like
Being a
DeFaro as our
demi-fae does
Luca.
not mean being porcelain white skin. And I think that that's the
Yes,
default for a lot of people in their casting. And that is not, unless it
right.
is very specifically laid out, like she does a lot in Akatar, how these
Hmm.
people from, this are this color of skin, and these people from this are this color of skin. And
Yeah.
because
Well, and she'll use phrases like tan, tawny, warm, like things, and it's like, can you just say that they're brown, please? That's cool because then people will stop making fan art
of a tan
that's
white person,
white. It's like this is
of
a tan white
Becky
person,
after a
right? It's
Mexican
like
vacation.
seriously, and it's people of color have different
Yep.
features too. It's not just skin color, it's different bone structure, and that all has to be incorporated into fan art. That's a whole other tangent I could go
Special
on, but
episode.
I know I just think that there just needs to be more BIPOC representation and fantasy and art and film and in general, and we all know that. And we're all trying for that in Hollywood, but Hollywood is ran by white men. So, fuck us. Anyways, my coffee is cold. Ugh, gross. Okay, great. So, what is DeFaro's last name?
Wunate.
Wunate. Okay.
And
DeFaro
Wunate. Yep.
Wunate. Let's get into the
Yeah, I want to
witchy.
say that previously we had decided that we would each get like one bringing back from either side. Like I could bring back one of yours, you could bring back one of mine, I could bring back one of
Yeah.
mine, you could bring back one
Yeah.
of yours. I brought
Yeah.
back,
Yes. Do we have a
got my bring back. We
Ooh,
got my bring back. I don't know if you're gonna
okay.
like
Okay, I'm
it, but
excited.
we got my one bring back. So
With my attitude so far, probably not. No, I'm just kidding.
you,
No, I'm interested. You
you
bitch.
bitch.
I'm interested. And I think I said in part 1 too that I was like still good with all of our characters, but the only one I'm slightly wishing that we really would have kept is Baba Yellowlegs as
Yeah.
Kiala. I'm having spirits go through me. I don't know what I'm saying. Kiala Settle. You'll see why with my casting. Okay, so let's get into some witch bitches as we're wearing our little witchy necklaces of our names still. Here we go. I'm pretty excited about mine. Oh,
I brought her back.
oh my god, hey, girl.
I brought her back.
Happy to see
I
her.
know.
Happy to see her. Okay. Go ahead, Adara. Who have you cast as your Manon?
So this was
Blackbeak.
your original choice for Salada, which is Sarah Catherine
Yes,
Huck.
it was.
And I had to finish the
Mm-hmm.
season of The White Lotus before I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I
Mm-hmm.
started reading this and was introduced to Manon. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, ooh, I think that she would have so much more fun with this character. Honestly, I
Mm-hmm.
think any actor would probably have more fun with this character because the witches and the bitches
Mm-hmm.
are always much more fun to portray as an
Mm-hmm.
actor. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that she has done kind of the witchy bitchy character in Cruel Intentions boot,
Yes.
but I think this takes it a
Yes.
step further
Mm-hmm.
of the evilness of how they're at least
Mm-hmm.
trying to portray this character.
And she can do it. I know she
Yeah.
can do it.
And so that's who I chose, Sarah Catherine Hook.
Great. I have chosen Cara Delevingne because I think Manon is scary. She's lovely. And what's the best way to say this? Cara Delevingne is not gorgeous. She's a supermodel, but she's not gorgeous. She's unique in a really good way. I think while Manon is sort of portrayed in fan art as like pretty witch, like whatever, I think she also could have iron teeth and iron claws and be treated like fucking dog shit by the matron. Now, Cara Delevingne, I don't know how old she actually is, but she look real young. And she's little, but she's both pretty and scary, and I think Manon has to be both pretty and scary because the men aren't intrigued by the witches. they're afraid of the witches.
Mhm.
So that's my reasoning on Kara. I think she has the right look for Manon being fearsome and also uniquely stunning to catch some people's eyes in the future.
I think that she inherently has. She would make the hair and makeup artist team's job easier for sure. Um,
Hmm.
but it makes I haven't seen her do that much, I'll be honest. Like I mostly know of Kara from her paparazzi antics.
That makes sense.
Part of me is going, do we go for looks for this one or do we go for like because I think Sarah could do the acting. We
Yeah.
have hair and makeup to be able to, assist in maybe ugging her up a little bit. I hate saying it that way, but you know what I mean,
Hmm. Hmm.
because she does have
Hmm.
a really round, conventionally pretty face.
She just needs sharper features, and that's fully a makeup thing. That's a hair thing. There's this photo of Sarah Catherine Hook where she's just got this ice stare. She's just scary looking. Pull up the pictures of Sarah Catherine Hook from Cruel Intentions.
Poster photo where she's in like
Yeah,
yeah,
this one. Hmm.
and she does
She's
she
got the
does look a
look.
little bit more angular there too.
Yeah. Now that's obvious editing, but can be fixed. I still see her as Selena and Aelin. So it's hard for me to put her in Manon because if we do come back for Aelin, I would want to reconsider her.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. This is hard. This is hard because I'm not fully sold on Cara Delevingne. I truthfully don't really know who should be Manon because I don't know if we know enough about Manon.
Okay, so here's my proposal. I
Hmm.
don't think there's anything wrong if we shuffle people around once we get to the very final thing. So if you wanted to,
Hmm.
because we like her so much, put Sarah Catherine Hook in this role for now, that doesn't, in my opinion,
Hmm.
it doesn't take her off the table for if we have a discussion about recasting Selena at a later date.
I think we should do that then because that's my only
Yeah.
hesitation is I have no reason to hang on to Cara Delevingne. I like Cara Delevingne. I know she looks like the role. I think like this photo is like exactly what Manon looks like. But I know Sarah Catherine Hook could
Yeah.
do it. I've seen her play who she's played in White Lotus and then who she was in Cruel Intentions, and they're two different people. So she's got range and she's a great actress. So it'd be cool to get her in something like action related and witchy and, makeup can do a lot. So I think, yeah, let's
Do
go
it.
with Sarah Catherine Hook as Manon Blackbeak. Sorry, Cara Delevingne. You're Manon in real life. So
Right.
enjoy that.
Mm,
Okay,
it's the
next
matron.
we have is the matron. Hang on to your ass. I'm sorry. I went wild. Here we go. I went with Cher.
Yeah, that's wild.
I went with Cher because the Blackbeak matron is described as long dark hair, pale white skin. The description of physical description is there. But
That's
you know who I was
That's
thinking
why I
of?
was thinking dark hair because I was like, there is a black beak
That's
that
who you're
has dark
thinking.
hair.
That's the Blackbeak matron. She's real pale and she's like a crow. And Cher is a
Listen,
crow.
she wouldn't be
Respectfully.
a bad Maeve either.
She's too old for Maeve, but she wouldn't
Oh,
be a
yeah,
bad
yeah.
Maeve. See her just slapping the shit out of Manon and like just destroying her, like, you piece of garbage. How dare you have a heart? Like, just this heartless, soulless witch, queen of the witches. Cher can act. I am named after the Loretta from Moonstruck. That is who my mom named me after. And she's a hard ass in that movie. She's a hard ass in a bunch of stuff. And so I think, why not Cher? So there she is. Cher is my Blackbeak matron submission.
Great. I chose, for the listeners who are not following along visually, Andie MacDowell. Part of the reason I chose her was because, Cher and Andie MacDowell, even though one is very publicly talked about her plastic surgery, they still have a very similar look, I think. So I think we're going for like the same idea, a little bit more angular in the face, older, etc. But I've seen some work that Andie MacDowell has done recently that I'm really hoping she's coming into, similar to Nick Offerman, like a second phase of her career because she's the mother of the actress who was in The Substance. God,
Margaret
Margaret Qualley,
Qualley.
thank you. She's Margaret
Hmm.
Qualley's mom. They did a TV show together, showed a really cool range of Andie MacDowell that I don't think people have seen in a long time. And so this is just one of those where, because I'm so pro older women actors in general, because way too many women are getting phased out for younger actresses when their characters should not be portrayed by younger actresses. So I just think it would be such a
Right.
cool role for her to her skills and abilities in a way that we maybe have never seen. Putting a little bit of blind faith in it
Yeah.
because we haven't seen it, but based on her career and what she's
Yeah.
done, I'm like, I think she could do it just fine. But I do agree
Hmm.
that Cher has given us that hardness before.
Cher's given it. She's Cher, you know, like, and the Blackbeak matron is supposed to be someone where you're like, oh, that's head bitch in charge, and she's trying to make sure Manon can take on her role for when she's eventually gone. Now, something about Annie MacDowell. Do you know that she is no longer acting?
She was just in something like a year ago.
She's ill.
Oh, I did not know.
She recently came forward. Now, this is fictional, so who cares? But she came forward and said she's ill. I know this because we cast her as the queen in our Dreamwalker fan
Okay,
cast.
interesting.
And while learning about her, she has a chronic illness that she is currently stepping back from Hollywood and acting to just focus on her time with her family. I don't think that disqualifies her from anything, but I think that's a testament of like how she cares for her family and makes me sort of favor her a little bit. But I do really like Cher. I think it's fun.
No,
I think it's fun and scary, and she could, Wagon Wheel Watusi from Burlesque. It would be really fun to see that. Actually, wait, we should go back and cast Christina Aguilera as Manon. There we go.
done.
Just
Perfect.
kidding. Just kidding. We won't. Okay, thoughts, feelings. I like Cher. I don't hate Andie MacDowell. I think it's a really strong choice,
Let's go with Cher.
but I like Cher.
It's just, I know we're picking a lot of yours, but that's because I think that we're all good choices.
I worked really hard on this one. I did. I went through a lot of revisions for this one. I think this is one of the casts. This and I think my first Fourth Wing cast, very first episode of this, I was like back and forth and back and forth. And this has taken me a while, which is why we had it as our finale. And I kept pushing it off because I was like, I don't know yet. I'm not solid on a lot
There's
of
a
these.
lot of characters in this one.
Well, our Blackbeak matron then will be Cher, who has seen my underwear before because I had a costume malfunction on the stage for network and Cher was in the second row and I cried like a baby off stage because I had a costume malfunction in front of the Cher, the actress of my namesake, Loretta. She does have you seen Moonstruck?
Been many years. Yes.
Yeah. The wolf without a foot. That whole thing. I found out that's how I'm named after. I was like, oh, great. I'll take it. Not Loretta Lynn, Cher.
I thought it was Loretta
next
Devine.
We have another. Oh my God, I wish.
You mean it wasn't?
That would make no
Nope.
sense, but I love her.
I thought you were named after the black musical theater actress from the 80s.
I wish I was. Maybe my career would have been better in musical theater. Okay, next we have someone.
We have Astra and Blackbeak.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, I hate Sydney Sweeney, but this is really good, Adara.
I know.
Poop. Okay, go.
Okay, so I chose Sydney Sweeney also because I don't really like her.
I hate her.
It was just like, and I don't know what it is about her that I don't like. It's just, there's a vibe. There's a vibe, and I'm just like, I'm just not feeling it. But also, it's
yeah.
because of her work in both Euphoria and in The White Lotus, I know she has range.
As like the sidekick.
And
she's like the sidekick friend.
She's the sidekick friend. She has range. She also can be the sidekick friend that can look like they're like phoning it in, like they don't really care, but then they do really care, And so like, because there's something about all of the relationship of the witches that feels so very teenage girl. And so
it is. It's so cliquey. It's like cliquey high school cafeteria moments.
And Sydney Sweeney, when I think of who could play a cliquey high school cafeteria girl, she locked in for me like super quickly. And then I also that she also is like interesting beauty. Like she's conventionally very pretty, but there's also something interesting about her as well that with the hair and makeup team work well with making her an interesting looking
They
witch.
can
They
yuck
can
her
yuck
up.
her up.
She needs to be yucked up a little bit
This one was
for
really
a character. She
just
doesn't play enough roles like that.
mostly just
They put
vibes.
glasses on her and they'll be like, "She's
I know.
ugly."
This one was mostly just vibes for me.
Yeah. No, I like it. I think your vibes are
Yeah.
correct. The vibes are correct. I think Sydney Sweeney is correct, and I'd like to already concede, but I will tell the listeners who I have is Dakota Fanning. Not Elle Fanning, but Dakota. Let's bring Dakota Fanning back as Esther in Blackbeak. Has golden yellow hair. She is less the friend sidekick, while Manon has kind of always had the spotlight. And that's why I thought of Dakota Fanning, because Dakota Fanning started the Fanning career and then stepped aside. And Elle has famously made her way in and is kind of leading the charge. It would be really nice to bring her back and have her revive something. But I think Sydney Sweeney is the correct choice as long as we can yuck her up and she can, be not interested and do the sure, whatever, I'm your second, fine. I like your choice of Sydney
Great.
Sweeney.
Let's lock her in. Sydney
Awesome.
Sweeney.
So Sydney Sweeney, as much as I don't like you, at least you're not playing Moore again. I do not want her to play Moore. I will be so mad. I don't want that. And she can act. And she's funny in whatever that fucking movie was. Anyone But You. Did you see that? It's really
No.
cute. I actually liked it a lot.
I didn't see it.
She's very funny in it. And she's very funny, and I hate to give her that. But it's, that movie is one of the reasons I have a nice bonus this year because it did really well. Sorry, Dakota Fanning. Maybe you can come back for something else in the future. I mean, you could be Aelin.
I don't hate it. I feel like she's a little too old.
I think so too.
We need to find somebody between
Okay.
the two of them.
Yeah. So Sydney Sweeney as our second in line, Esther in Blackbeak. Next, we have, I believe, a Yellowlegs. Iskra?
Yes.
Okay. Iskra Yellowlegs. Okay.
We both same vibes.
All right.
Same vibes.
Same vibe. Okay. I'm going to jump in because I know I've been leaning towards this. Alia Shawkat, I have as Iskra Yellowlegs. Goes off. Fucking nightmare, bitch. And I think Alia could play that so well. She could just be mean. She could just be fully evil and just want to rip everything apart and doesn't give a shit about the cause of anything and is just like, I'm going to take your stupid fucking wyvern down. And I believe she does something to Abraxas that Manon doesn't do because they communicate with different kindness, and she hits him or something and punishes him. And it's like, bitch, that's not yours. She's very evil. Now, Kiala Settle as Baba Yellowlegs being the matron and the leader. I think those two would have went really well together. That's my sad qualm is it would have been really good. I feel like they would have been a really good pair. And yeah, that's Alia Shawkat is my Iskra Yellowlegs.
Okay. I have Phoebe Fox, who is more known for her theater career, to be honest.
I don't know who that is. I have no idea who this woman is.
She's a Brit. She's from across the pond.
Okay.
And she has been in a Black Mirror episode. She was also in The Woman in Black, Angel of Death, which is a scary movie. She was the lead in that. And then she was also, alongside Nicholas Hoult, was in The Great as one of the main characters in The Great for 3 years. I think she was Elle Fanning's friend, Marielle.
Oh my God. Wait,
Marielle Brezhnev.
I watched that show. I don't recognize her.
So look her up. Phoebe
I don't
Fox.
recognize her, but okay.
Phoebe, once you see her in costume, you'll be like, oh yeah, I get it. But she was her sidekick friend / nurse lady, caretaker lady. It's been a while since I watched The Great.
Oh, yes. I know exactly who she is. Okay.
But then she's a big old West End Shakespeare girl, both drama and comedy. And then I also think she just looks a lot like my pick for Bobby Yellowlegs.
She does. Are you aware that she's 38?
Yes, I am. But I don't think she looks.
And
especially in The Great,
okay.
She looks like she's in her late 20s. And that just stopped filming 2 years.
Okay. And we think her next to Sarah Catherine Hook, who's supposed to be of like the same
Yeah,
age and who is in her early
I
20s.
think to me they aren't all equally the same, like 22. That there's like a range of like maybe 22 to 28, 29, like in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
I do think she looks older
Mm-hmm.
on that range. I also think Aaliyah Shawkat doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily look like she's 22 either.
Well, Leah Shawkat's
Yeah.
36 also. So they're pretty
And
close.
so I think that we both
Um
have gone with like maybe slightly older than Sarah Catherine
yeah.
Hook and
I mean,
Sydney Sweeney.
I think we have to go with Phoebe Fox, to be totally honest, because it matches your Baba
Mhm.
Yellowlegs, and they don't have a Yellowlegs matron
Yeah.
anymore. I think so,
She
right? Like they don't have, and that's
she's in line to be the
she.
next one.
The Yellowlegs matron is an Iron Teeth witch and the current matron of the Yellowlegs clan after Baba Yellowlegs was
Which is
killed.
why I felt like a little bit more mature because she's already stepped into the matron role. So not
Hmm
38 mature. I don't think she reads 38. And I think with your cast of the lead,
She's not the
she
matron.
isn't the matron. I thought she was stepping into that
No,
role though.
it's just the title is the matron of the Yellowlegs clan, and the relatives are Baba Yellowlegs and Iskra Yellowlegs. So the Yellowlegs matron is supposed to look like a crone, so she appears to be wrinkled and hunched over. So yeah, the matron is somebody who has stepped in because Baba Yellowlegs has been killed. So I think it would be like the second in line, like Astrid would be, right? I think we should go with Phoebe Fox
Great.
though. I like that, but I also really like Phoebe Fox as Coltane. She would have been a really good Lady Coltane instead of Olivia Rodrigo. I like her a lot. I like Alia Shawkat, but she would only be my choice if Kala Settle was still Baba
Yeah.
Yellowlegs because they look like family. It's the freckles for me. So Iskra Yellowlegs is going to be Phoebe Fox. I'm going to find a different photo of her. I want her to look more mean. Next, we have
Petra Blue Blood.
Blue Blood. Petra Blue Blood. And I think she's our last one.
Technically.
Okay. Last and final scheduled one is Petra Blue Blood. I'm really excited about my
Okay.
choice. I have Liv Hewson from Yellow Jackets. Liv is famously known from Yellow Jackets. They are non-binary. They identify as non-binary. I really love them. I think the red hair obviously is a key factor of Petra Blue Blood. Petra is, you don't really know what's going on with the Blue Blood line, but they're trying to support the Blackbeak line and not the Yellowlegs. And Petra is the one that is confirming that you can somehow communicate with your wyvern. It doesn't have to be all physical. It is mental, it's emotional connection. Liv Hewson is an amazing choice for that. So I brought them forward. I see that you have Hannah Dodd.
Hannah Dodd. Do you know who Hannah Dodd is?
Do I know who Hannah Dodd is? She's in our Akatar
Oh,
cast.
she is?
She's Elaine.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. From Bridgerton.
Yes, from Bridgerton. But the reason why
Mhm.
I picked Hannah Dodd was not because I do think that she is on the up and up with her career, which I think is awesome. And I think for these roles, you got to pick somebody that's like Sydney Sweeney might be a little bit too far into her career technically for this. But for me, it was the Flowers in the Attic role. Did you ever read that book when you were young?
Oh boy. Yes. I think I did, but it's been a really long
Fucked up.
time and I never watched
It is
anything.
a fucked up series.
Yeah.
And they did like an origin mini series in which she played the mom, the lead role for that one. And then she is currently starring as Sally Bowles on the West End.
Hannah Dodd is Sally Bowles right
She's
now?
like as of like
That's
2 weeks.
wild.
Like she just started doing.
It's wild.
So for me, it's the ability to play ugly with Sally Bowles because that audition process to be Sally Bowles, from what I've heard, is wild.
Yeah.
And
well, Cara Delevingne was
Yeah.
Sally Bowles.
And so it's the ability to play ugly. And I don't mean that physically. I mean, like Audra McDonald right now in Gypsy is playing ugly because you got to be willing to let go and just let the snot fly, so to speak. And it's the ability to play somebody who's calculated. Because character Corrine, her mother, is a calculated character. But then she has the opposite of it with Bridgerton, which is fun.
She's the prettiest Sally Bowles I've ever seen.
She's very pretty.
She's stunning as Sally Bowles. She looks gorgeous. She's not ugly at all.
But
my
I'd
God.
be
Yeah, she's
so
like
curious to
lovely.
see, the big song, where she does get ugly. And they
Mhm.
lock down
Mhm.
photos and videos of that. So I'm hoping I can see a slime tutorial at some point. But she's doing it opposite Rob Madge, who I love. I love Rob Madge.
Oh, fun.
Um,
Oh, wow. Yeah, I see that.
yeah. Oh yeah, she's very pretty as Sally
Interesting.
Bowles, isn't she?
She's so
Yeah.
pretty. I was like, whoa.
But yeah,
She's
I mean,
stunning.
the titular song, I'd be
Okay.
so curious to see her perform the titular song because in this version of Cabaret, Sally gets ugly in that song. She gets real
Yeah.
ugly in that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
I like Hannah Dodd as a choice. I am going to advocate a little bit for Liv Hewson because it's a inclusive choice and they are a little bit more, I feel like, more warrior powerful than pretty girl Hannah Dodd, who's just always pretty,
No,
clearly from Sally Bowles, where they're like, we got to make her cute still. And it's
I
no.
I don't know Liv Hewson very well. I've only watched like one or two
Mhm.
episodes of Yellow Jackets, and then I got sucked into something else.
Yeah.
I like the inclusivity, and I do like her look a little bit better. So you don't have to
Yeah.
advocate hard for
Yeah.
me with this one.
Yeah. There's like I believe I think it's a scar in their
Yeah,
eyebrow. And you read
yeah.
ACOTAR. If Lucian was ever a gender nonconformive role, I think Liv would be a great
Uh,
Lucian. That's just like a fun thing. But I love Liv a lot and would love them to be our Petra Blue Blood.
let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Wow, that's it. Unless there's some sort of
I
surprise.
don't
I don't
know.
know. Let
Click
me
on the next slide.
click this next slide to see
Right.
what's surprise bonus character. Oh
So,
boy, hang on to your butts.
yes.
Park your cars,
Yeah.
turn up the volume, zero in.
Okay.
Who the fuck do we have,
Okay.
Adara?
So there was one character that stood out to me in terms of their relationship, specifically with Toothless. And this character does not stick around for very long, but I felt like I just knew the perfect actor for this. So if you click next, I have just the perfect.
Is this a spider? No, this isn't the
No,
spider. Who the fuck is
no.
this?
I say Toothless, but it's really what's
I
the
don't know who
monsters.
it
You
is.
don't know who it is. So I'm just gonna have you click next, and we're gonna all be surprised together.
Not Patty Murphy. Oh, human guard number 1 who gets killed by a wyvern. Our friend, one of Adara's best friends. Irish actor Patty Murphy, who is in like the Irish version of The Wire. Is this his headshot?
No,
What is this
I'm
photo?
crying. It is a screenshot. So Patty Murphy, for those of you who don't know, he has been a cast member of the Tri Channel for like 7, 8. I'm like literally crying. He has been a cast member of the Tri Channel
I mean, he's
for
cast.
7, 8 years now at this point, which is just.
And hey, Patty, if you're
Oh,
listening.
he will be. I asked for permission for this.
I love
So
it.
the Tri Channel was just a group of charming Irish people trying like different alcohols, different snacks, different treats, different things from all over the world, and they're charming Irish. So this is like his screenshot headshot from the Tri Channel page specifically, because his other actor headshots didn't quite give the vibe of cocky human and guard who gets killed.
Who's like, don't do that. You better not, little girl.
And then
the wyvern's
comes-
like, shut up, bitch.
Comes the tail.
Yeah.
And when I called him and I was talking to him about this, I was like, listen, I want to do this. It'll be like a fun surprise for Loretta. But then also, let's get you cast in, a fun series as a character who dies within like 4 seconds.
Absolutely. Wait, this is so funny. This is so funny. I accept. Patty, welcome to Heir of Fire.
Yes, but
We're so glad to
he
have you.
legit is an actor, though, and that's the really great part about this is that he had
Yes, he is.
a decent supporting character in Love Hate, which was the Irish version of The Wire several years ago. But
Yep.
he
Oh, that's what it's called, love-hate. I was like, "What is it
okay,
called?"
but
There we
then
go.
he also has had,
Right.
a really great career both in commercial work over in Ireland, but also doing a lot of really great short films. He's a little bit more of a comedic actor, but he also did some stuff in The Tudors. So,
Mhm.
it's just he has
He was in The
he was in The
Tudors?
Tudors, yeah,
Wow.
alongside a very young Henry
Wow.
Cavill. So, I think
Mhm.
he was Henry's, like, servant person or something like that. It's
I
one of,
love
like,
that.
his first roles that he did. He also did something in The Vikings because that's shot in Ireland as well.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm supposed to watch that because of Leo Suter.
so
I haven't
he
watched it,
has the
but
career to back up being
mhm.
schmurdered immediately.
Well, I don't think it takes a lot to be the human guard who gets killed by a wyvern. But it'd be really fun. He could make it into a role. Welcome to the team, Patty. I love it. That was a very fun surprise. That's a good one. I really liked it.
I knew you would.
All right. Well, we have our full cast. Amazing.
Yeah. I really wanted to slip
Yeah.
Patty's headshot, like, in the tiniest, like, little corner.
In in somewhere in like the sea of
Yeah.
cast, like just him like poking out. And I think that's it.
Yeah,
That's our final Heir of Fire cast. I love
I
it.
love
I
it.
like our choices. Here it is. It's all our lovely people and will be available on Instagram. So make sure you're in the comments. Let us know what you think. And we'll see you next time for season 2. It's been a really great season. Thank you, Adara, for being on a bunch of times this season and having so much fun. I really appreciate it. You'll, of course, be back as we continue our Throne of Glass series, but we will have you back for another book, too, so we
Yeah.
can kind of get our heads out of this world for a
I
little
hope
bit.
everybody has a hot reading girl summer this summer while they get through their
Have a have a
TBRs.
hot reading girl summer.
Woo!
Yes, good luck with your TBRs, everybody. Thank you for listening to season 1 of FanCastic, and we'll see you in September. Bye.